Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, that was lame. I'm really sorry. Anyways, I'm already bored. I'm already stir crazy. I'm a theater teacher stuck in my house. It sucks. Hi. All right, you guys. So this video is for my first block advanced theater kids. I miss you guys. Anyways, okay, hi. So what's up? I hope you guys are all good. I hope everybody is healthy. I hope none of you have the virus. And I hope everybody is staying inside and A, getting much needed rest, but B, also now doing your schoolwork. Yay. So you're probably wondering, Miss Vasa, we were working on a devised theater piece. What the heck are we now going to do from home? Excellent question. So I don't want to really continue on with the devised theater piece right now. I think that is something that I would really like to pick up on if we have time, if we ever get back to school this year, who knows? But yeah, that's something that I think was really special, and I would love to just kind of put it on pause for now and hopefully pick it back up if and when we get back to school. So what that means for this week. Well, I guess, okay, first, before I jump into what we're doing, just a couple of reminders. Hopefully on Schoology, which is where you guys should be mainly focused on finding these videos. On your homepage for this class, all you should see when you log in is a black folder entitled Coronageddon. I'm clever. But no, I totally stole that. But in that folder, week to week, I will upload individual folders of the work that we are focusing on for that week. And yeah, so you'll be able to find the videos like this, what your assignments are, et cetera, within that folder. Each folder will be week to week, et cetera. If you haven't already, there is a video at the top of that folder, like that's not in any of the weeks, just entitled Watch Me. It is a link to a YouTube video of stuff that I posted yesterday about just general info for class stuff and kind of how this online learning is going to work. So just a very, very brief reminder of a couple of things. This class technically has a face-to-face time of 11 to 11:30 a.m. on Wednesdays only. Wednesdays are the days that have been designated for elective classes. Each day of the week has a different content focus area. Not to say that you can't work on stuff for other classes on those days, but that is the intended focus for that day. So Wednesday is electives. And so during that time, we have that 11 to 11:30 face-to-face time. But all that implies is exactly what we're doing right now. You are watching this video of me talking at you. And there might be weeks where it would be fun to get us all together on a live video chat. Maybe next week we can try that because it would be really fun with what I'm hoping to do. But we'll chat about that in a second. But yeah, so if we ever do a live video chat for class, just know that it will be from 11 to 11:30 a.m. on Wednesdays. This week, obviously, you're getting this pre-recorded video, so don't worry about it for this week. So yeah, so that will be every Wednesday. And then I also have daily office hours, as do all of your teachers. We are choosing our own. It's a 3-hour chunk of time. So for me, it is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That might differ from some of your other teachers. But just know that all that means is that I will actively be in front of my computer from 9 to 12 every single day, Monday through Friday. And so if you need immediate assistance from me, or you just want to say, hey, that is the time that I will actively be present on my computer every day. If you need me outside of those times, email me. Still, I'll likely be checking outside of those times, but yeah, just know that those are the times that I am if you need an immediate answer about something or whatever, those are the active times that I'm on. Okay, so now what the heck are we going to be working on digitally as a theater class? Well, I know personally for me in times like this when, not that there's ever been a time like this, that was dumb to say, but whatever. In times of struggle. And, when things are kind of up in the air and weird, I love turning to stories to kind of ease my mind. I love to read a book, watch a movie, watch a recorded version of a play, something that kind of um, gets me, just takes my mind off of things and gets me into another world. So while we can't, as theater artists, necessarily create right now outside of, or like with each other, you guys could do monologues and things like that. But I thought it might be fun to just get really into a story. And so, what I have chosen for us to do, some of you might not like, but I'm going to make you like it because it's going to be really fun. I thought it would be really fun to take kind of a sidestep and read a little Shakespeare. Now, I know a lot of you are probably screaming at me right now through your computer screens, Miss Bosto, why are we doing Shakespeare? Because it's awesome and it's really fun. And I promise you, I am going to make it as fun as possible, especially in a distance learning setting. So, what I would like us to do is week by week, we are going to read one of Shakespeare's plays. And the one I have decided on is probably my personal favorite Shakespeare. If I had to choose just one, it is the one that I always come back to. And it is one that I don't think any of you have had the chance to study in school yet, which is an added bonus. So we are going to read A Midsummer Night's Dream. It is just such a classic, and it is such a fun story. And I really, really hope that you guys are able to get as into it as I was. And I always kind of have been with this show. So what I would love to do is week to week, we are going to read one act at a time. So obviously this week being week 1, the expectation is that you guys are going to read Act 1 on your own time so that by next Wednesday, we can pick up with Act 2. So each week, I will link in the folder for today a link to No Fear Shakespeare, which is a version of Shakespeare offered by SparkNotes. And what it does is you can actually read every act and scene of the whole play. You can read Shakespeare's version, and then right next to it, it has a modern text version. So more like the way that we speak today, a modernized version of what the text is trying to say, so that you have both options in front of you. If you absolutely just cannot read the way that Shakespeare wrote in the iambic pentameter in the Old English, that's fine. You will have the modernized version right next to you if you just want to read that. That's totally fine. But I do challenge you to, kind of use both. It's, in my opinion, one of the easier Shakespearean plays to comprehend for young actors, as long as you keep track of the 4 storylines that are kind of going on, which we'll talk about in just a second. But yeah, it's a really, really fun play, you guys, and I really want us to get into it. And depending on how long we're out, we're going to read an act every single week. There are 5 acts in a Shakespearean play, so that gets us 5 weeks right there. And then at the end of you guys reading every week, you guys are going to have a series of questions that I would like you to answer and submit, just so that I know that you guys are understanding what's going on in each act. You're keeping track of all the characters. And it's just, a way for me to assess that all of us are kind of on the same page with the storyline. So that will be on Schoology as well. And also each week, I am going to try and find at least a scene or monologue from each act that we are reading that week, performed by a professional company, professional actors, maybe actors that might even be familiar to you, and upload that as well, so that you can have an example of hearing the text spoken by a professional Shakespearean actor as well. So for this week, I would love if you guys will read Act 1 on your own time. Act 1 is fairly short. I mean, it sets up obviously the entire play. But you guys are going to read Act 1 on your own, answer the response questions, and then we will pick up with Act 2 next week. But just know something that I would love to maybe do for next week is maybe we could do a live chat via Zoom, or I know Schoology has a conference option. And maybe, my foot's falling asleep. Hold on. Maybe we could all get together via video chat, and read the act together. And so that way we can do the questions, the response questions together, and, make sure that everybody is comprehending. And then maybe that from now on, our meeting time of 11 to 11:30, if enough of us can participate. If not, we'll just kind of continue to read on our own. But if enough of us are available at that time and can get together and read the show together, I would love for that to be what we do. And that way we're still engaged. Everybody can have an opportunity to read Shakespeare out loud. And we'll just slowly start making our way through the entire script. And then, depending on how long we end up being out of school, I have some other ideas in mind for when we're done with the show. So we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, I just thought that this would be a fun way, to engage everybody, like get us really into a story, and really reading it week to week, and hopefully having that time to look forward to every week as well. I know that Shakespeare is not our favorite thing collectively, but I really think you guys are going to like this story. If you haven't read it before, if you are familiar with it, hopefully it just gives you a deeper understanding. But it's a really, really fun show. And I do think that this is going to be something fun that we can all kind of do together. So that being said, let's just reiterate. Make sure that you have watched the video that is at the top of the Coronageddon folder, just with general info to get you through this time. In this week one folder that you are hopefully in right now, make sure that you have watched all of this video. When you are done, I have included a short, like 2.5, I think it's like 2.5, maybe 3-minute video about who William Shakespeare is. Why is he important? There's just a little, very, very brief history of him, just to get everyone on the same page if you aren't really as familiar with who Shakespeare is. If you guys wouldn't mind watching that, that's kind of just like a little extra bonus. You will have this video, that video. You have a link to the No Fear Shakespeare version of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And just a note as well, Shakespeare is public domain, meaning that his plays are not copywritten, which is another reason why he's performed so much, is because you don't have to pay for rights to perform his stuff. And what that also means is that there are a lot of different versions of it out there on the internet, cut in different ways. We could get into a whole debate about which ones are the most legitimate, but we're not going to go there right now. But you are allowed to find a different version if for whatever reason you don't like the No Fear Shakespeare format. But just be advised that different versions might have different wording styles, might cut certain information out depending on where you're pulling from. So, the No Fear Shakespeare is a good option. Just know that that is where my questions will be pulled from. So it is probably wise to just go ahead and use that version. But if for whatever reason, maybe you have a book copy at home and you want to read that, that's fine too. But yeah, so there will be this video to watch, the video about the history of Shakespeare, read all of Act 1, Scene 1 and 2 of A Midsummer Night's Dream by next Wednesday. There will be an assignment link with questions that you can answer about Act 1 specifically. And then I'll also find a cool video of some famous actors doing a scene or monologue from Act 1 specifically, and upload that for you as well, just as an example of, actors actually portraying the work. All right. And then, so last thing, really quick before I go, to keep in mind while you are reading, there are 4 main storylines in A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it's better to just kind of keep those in mind up front, because they kind of bounce back and forth between the two. A Midsummer Night's Dream focuses on the human realm, but also a fairy realm. So we have a lot of magical elements within this play, which is part of what makes it so much fun. Within the human realm, we have three storylines. We have Hippolyta and Theseus, who are the king and the queen, and they are supposed to be getting married. So they are planning for their nuptial day, as you will hear it referred to as. And yeah, so there is a smaller storyline between the two of them. We have the storyline between our four lovers. So Hermia, Helena, Demetrius, and Lysander are all four lovers. And so make sure that you are paying attention to all of the stuff going on with them. We'll kind of talk a little bit more in depth about them next time. And then we also have the how they're considered the rude mechanicals of the play, where it's kind of the equivalent today would maybe be kind of like the country bumpkins, if you will, of the play. They're kind of like the lower class people that have been called upon to be entertainment at Hippolyta and Theseus's wedding. So it's this group with Bottom, is kind of like the most famous character from the bunch. And they are putting on a play within the play. We'll talk about those kind of concepts as well, to perform for Theseus and Hippolyta. And then, so those three are all in the human realm of the show. And then there's also a storyline in the fairy world, between the fairy queen, and the fairy king. And so they, why are their names just like suddenly gone from me? Hold on. I don't know why. Oberon and Titania. Sorry. I don't know. Like, isolation, guys. Oberon and Titania are the fairy king and queen, and they are having a little bit of a quarrel. Puck, who is a character hopefully you have maybe heard of before, is Oberon's like right hand fairy, essentially. And he causes all kinds of mischief that intertwines with the human world, specifically with the lovers. Titania has a whole moment with Bottom. It all gets intertwined and is chaos throughout the entire show. But in the end, everything, kind of comes back together. So just keep in mind those four storylines while you're reading. Try to make sure that you're keeping track of who's doing what. But we will talk about that a little bit more next week as well. But yeah, focus on that stuff for now. It is a comedy, so it is an extremely funny play. And yeah, let me know if as you're reading, because I know, sorry, my legs are falling asleep. As you're reading, I know things can get kind of confusing. But especially like reading Act 1, make sure that you're really paying attention to that stuff, because that kind of sets the scene for the rest of the show. So, all right. One last time, you are watching the original video from yesterday if you haven't already. For this week, you are watching all of this video, just to get general info. Watch the little 2 to 3 minute video about Shakespeare's life just to get an idea of who he is. Read all of Act 1, both Scene 1 and Scene 2 of A Midsummer Night's Dream. The link is in this folder to the No Fear Shakespeare version. And then make sure that you answer the questions about Act 1 that is linked. That will be your assignment for this week. That will also show me that you are working on your stuff. So it'll count as kind of like your attendance to class in a sense. So make sure that you are working on that as well. And then, I'll also link a video just if you're interested of professional actors doing something from Act 1. And we will reconvene next week. Like I said, I'll be in touch with you guys again. Let me know. Send me a message on Schoology if 11 to 11:30 on Wednesdays is not a good time for you guys to meet. Because I would super love to get a lot of us on video chat and, read the play together. I thought that would be a good time. So, just let me know. And if not, we can figure something else out. We can keep reading separately if we need to. But yeah, I really miss you guys. I'm so bored. So yeah, I hope everybody is okay. I hope you guys are all healthy and staying safe. Um, as always, let me know if you have any questions about anything going on. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.